This is a true story of an Indian citizen who got 3 new passports and permanent access to the Schengen area before renouncing to his Indian citizenship. This video is going to be applicable to any other country that has poor travel documents. Could be South Africa, could be Pakistan. Many countries in the world have a ton of visa restrictions, so if that is you, this is going to be helpful just as an example of what is possible, what can be done. So if you know somebody with a poor passport, send them this video, it can come in handy. Here's the 3-step process he did to unlock 195 out of 196 countries visa-free in the world. Number 1, find the easiest, best next passport. In his case, he had Indian, so whatever passport pretty much was better than what he currently had. He checked Malta, Portugal, other countries which have high rejection rates for Indian citizens. For example, Malta, for pretty much everybody. They are so picky with who they are accepting into their country, both for residency and citizenship. And also to get to these countries, he required a visa, or he had to choose to do all this process through a consulate in another country. It was a bit of a mess. It was a headache. The option was to buy a Caribbean passport at that time, which was still $125,000 for some kids. Similar prices, $100,000 for Antigua and Barbuda, etc. years ago. But he decided to go via real estate, which was $250,000. Instead of a donation, he kept the money. He just had to buy a property in Turkey in 3 months because there was no backlog. He got the citizenship, and the only requirement is keep the property for 3 years, then you can sell it and keep the passport forever for him and his family. The best of all is that he got property in Turkey without even visiting. He bought it online, he did all the process remotely, and then he got his Turkish passport done in an embassy outside. So he's not even in the country. He became a citizen of a new country without ever stepping foot in there. What a G move. And then he renounced his Indian citizenship because he cannot keep both. India does not allow dual citizenship for the majority of the people. So he goes from being Indian to now being fully Turkish. Step number 2, he got Greek permanent residency, which at the time was 250,000 euros in real estate. Now it's 400,000. Prices already increased. He now buys another property in Greece, and in a matter of a few months, he becomes a Greek permanent resident. Him and all his family. Now Schengen area, completely open, is Turkish and has attached to the Turkish passport the Greek permanent residency. He also gets UK, Canada, and US visas, except for one country I'm gonna share with you. But number 3, in this ultimate portfolio, he wanted 2 more passports. He wanted 3 in total, the golden number. I say always 3 complementary passports is the best for first-class citizen lifestyle. He says, I want 1 European but non-EU country. He chose Serbia. Serbia, there's the option of naturalization. He didn't want to spend 3 years. He didn't want to renounce his other citizenships, one of the requirements if you go through the 3 years of temporary residency to get the Serbian passport. So because he didn't have descent, he didn't have grandpas from Serbia or didn't marry a Serbian citizen, he had one more option, which was Serbia by exception. Article 19 of the law, if you become a valuable enough individual for this country, they can grant you citizenship. See Steven Seagal, Johnny Depp, Adriana Lima, or many others. Even Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter, the actor, got the Serbian citizenship. You can become valuable in many ways to the country, and this is so vague and broad on purpose on the law. Many countries has this option. They can give the citizenship as a reward for the contribution. So he presented a very strong business plan. While this was in progress, he started the application for Portugal. He takes his Turkish passport and says, hey, I want to become a Portuguese resident through the Golden Visa program. There's the investment fund. At that time, it was still available, the real estate, which is not available anymore after 23rd October 2023. So job creation, investment fund, real estate. He says, now let me do job creation. So he created a company, 5 jobs created in Portugal, and he starts the application and the waiting time for the Portuguese residency, which already had some backlog, 6 months, 9 months in, still waiting, but he knows that from the time of application 5 years later, he secures for himself and the family a passport in the EU. 5 years to citizenship, it's rare. So it was a no-brainer for him. He said, let's go, let's do it. Now, what's interesting about this, by the time he gets the Portuguese citizenship, he can then sell the property in Greece because the access to the Schengen area is secured by something even stronger, which is the Portuguese passport and EU citizenship. So what happened with Serbia? Going back to that, the gentleman, now being Turkish, having Greek permanent residency, Serbia approves his case. So now Serbian, Turkish, permanent resident in Greece and resident in Portugal on the path to citizenship. The gentleman is pretty set up, but he says, I want to go one extra step. And he wants to secure something in Latin America, so he wants to go for a Mercosur passport. He's still deciding. At this time, he's already consulting with us, and he's saying, hey, what should we do? Multiple options, but that's for another video. The story will be unfolded in the future. I promise you something. What's the one country that he would need still visa after having all of these permanent residencies and citizenships? It's Turkmenistan. It's the only country in the world that no matter where you come from, what citizen you'll have to get a visa to enter there, except if you have a diplomatic passport, but that's also for another video or for an in-person meetup. So if you like this content, like, subscribe, and if you are interested, you said, wait, I also want to know more about this Serbian passport. What's this thing about exception? What routes there are to that European non-EU passport? I have a video right here. I'll see you there. Watch it right now.